So that's us all set up. We're on top of Beinn Ghlas, at 1,104 metres, 1,103 metres above sea level. Weather today, it's to be around freezing during the day and night. Last night it said between 1 and -3. Now it's saying between 1 Celsius during the day and 0 Celsius at night. We could see some snow later on. The forecast is saying that we could see some snow between 7 and 9. We'll soon see. I had a pain in the ass getting this tent up. I think it's because I'm on uneven ground. I'm not even going to show you the state of the tent, or I might just show you the state of the tent, but you'll see that the roof of the tent, it's hanging down a little. It's meant to be up there, and the poles are meant to clip onto this little attachment to keep it up high and steady and supporting each other, but the thing snapped, and yeah, I don't have the most structurally sound set up, but why not give you a rundown of my sleeping system. So we've got the Black Ice G700, a nice sleek design. I'll be doing a full review on this bag. Really impressed with it so far. I've had it down to -5 and I've kept nice and toasty, and the zips, they don't snag. I've got my inner liner with me. Again, adds an extra Celsius to the sleeping bag. Prolongs its lifespan, keeps it clean. And the Light Tour sleeping mat. Nice, sort of like a honeycomb design. It's got an R value, I believe, of 5.8. Should take you down to temperatures around -25, maybe a little bit lower, but overkill for tonight. But this sleeping bag, it's a fantastic bag, keeps you warm. I'm quite broad shoulders, long shoulders, lengthy shoulders, and I can get quite comfortable in here. And of course, the big Agnes 3rd degree. It's always good to bring a spare co-cell foam mat or whatever, because see if that mat bursts, or your mat bursts, you're sleeping directly on the ground. It's a major heat sink. That's why you should always bring one of these bad boys. But to give you an idea of how spacious the tent is, just pretend there's 2 people in the tent sleeping. One of you can sleep there, one of you can sleep there. Yep, got a little bit of gap. Some space at the top, and you've got symmetrical vestibules. Good space. Get your boots in there, you can get your portable heater in there, and you've got your little ventilation ports up here on either end. There's not really any pockets. I think there's one, and it's a pathetic excuse of a pocket, that bad boy there. That is a bad boy. And of course, the lantern hanging point. On the mountains, and the best thing to do is to have warm meals. If you don't have a heater, that is. Check that bad boy out. Aye, so it's just above freezing. That's us all pitched up. Gaz is about to cook his meal, and then we're going to jump into his tent and get the heating on. He's out with the Beinn Ghlas, I believe it's called. 2-man tent. It's a standard tunnel tent. Very spacious, very roomy, and that can handle, apocalyptic conditions. I'm not even going to speak about my tent, the 3FULTG. We're having some problems with the pitching, just ignore that. And Nick's out with his OEX Raccoon, which they've upgraded to the aluminium poles. The previous model had fiberglass, but it's now got some aluminium poles. It's a standard dome tent, and to be honest with you, it's a great wee tent. Good wee vestibules, symmetrical vestibules, good size, and plenty of space on the inside. So we need to talk about this little heater. The ambient temperature in this tent is extraordinary. I'm exceptionally warm. I really need to delayer, but it doesn't feel like you're on top of the mountain in freezing conditions. Like, my hands are toasty. Normally you're in the sleeping bag, and even when you're in the sleeping bag and your hands are outside the sleeping bag and you're messing about with your phone, your hands go Baltic cold. But nah, I'm nice and toasty. But this little guy here, need to treat it with the respect it deserves. I'm going to be a broken record about this, but I don't want to be the person responsible for a number of people purchasing this product and dying in the process. After all, the blowflame does give off carbon monoxide, so just make sure your tents are ventilated. You can also get a little carbon monoxide detector, put your mind at ease. I had a look at the information I could find online. I was speaking to experienced campers and mountaineers, and what they all did in the past was they actually just used their stoves and the flame for their stoves to heat up the tent, and there was no issues whatsoever for as long as there's a ventilation. And I couldn't find anything online about people dying because of the build-up of carbon monoxide in their tents from their stoves. It was just those stupid disposable barbecues where sadly a few people, especially children, have passed away. The product tells you it's not for indoor use or enclosed spaces. This would be an enclosed space. But from speaking to experienced mountaineers, experienced campers, information that I could find online, and spoke to a couple of people from Go Outdoors, as long as there's ventilation, you will be fine. But it is nice and toasty. What we're going to do now is, there's the rain back on. What we're going to do now is just get nice and toasty and then head over to Gazzy's tent and get a nice warm meal.
Really? Why did we camp there?
We were going to go to the campground this weekend, but I was like, I'm too unfit for this, so we came here.
And it is literally. You know how you get those like steamers that like steam your face to cleanse your skin and stuff like that? I feel like I'm getting this included as part of Monty's potato cooking experience. We've been cooking for like about 10 hours.
That's an exaggeration, mate. We've only been boiling the potatoes for 50 minutes.
You know what? The potatoes are ready. The potatoes are actually ready, and he wants to keep cooking them. Yeah.
They're not, mate. They're brick hard.
He let me try.
Mate, those are on Viagra. I'm not eating them.
Curry's done with potatoes.
Yeah, I need to eat that flame needs to calm down and get a grip of itself, because it's burning my dinner now.
The last two you've been having a flame. That's why the potatoes...
Half my rice is now stuck to the pot. My potatoes are absolute shambles. They should be ashamed of themselves.
They're cooked. It's now official. It is now sheep shit potatoes.
No, I think I've got some potatoes in here.
No, you don't. Did you? Oh, you did?
Yes, I've managed to rescue 1/8 of my potatoes.
Have a look at this.
This tent's got its own climate. It'll appear on the mail office next 24 hours. Heavy rainfall's forecasted in this tent. Right, Nick, how did you find the Kiza sleeping bag?
Nice and warm.
Nice and warm, brilliant.
Yep.
How did you find the Aerostat Down 7?
Well, I had that and then another Berghaus mat on top that I brought back, so it was really well insulated from the ground.
Well insulated from the ground.
I imagine that the Aerostat was doing most of the insulation work.
I'm putting my hand on it, it's keeping my hand warm.
Aye.
But the keys are between -5 Celsius and -8. But you were nice and toasty.
Nice and toasty, yeah. I think this tent is pretty toasty in general too.
Yeah, the only extra coon's got a much thicker inner than my tent. My tent was not warm in the slightest. But this was Nick's views when he woke up. So not all trips go to plan. Ended up in Gazzy's tent, spent about 2-3 hours in there, and sadly the little heater was damaged. I then became a little bit cold, went back into the tent, and I was heavily relying on the hot water bottle to keep me warm. Half of the sleep was fine, it was nice and warm, but the last 4 hours, slept for 8, it was very lukewarm. Lost a bit of footage because my road's not working, so I need to get in contact with Road in order to get that fixed. And yeah, we're also having that tent issue, but warm enough sleep, decent enough camp, but the battery's dying on this phone, so hope you all enjoyed the content that I got so far, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.